The 3 basic steps to doing your first wholesale deal. Guys, it's Rick Ginn here. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 phases of wholesaling and how you have to go from each phase in order for you to get your first wholesaling deal and how you can effectively use each phase. But before I get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the best information on wholesaling today from me and Zach. You want to get your first wholesale deal. It is so important that you understand rule number 1. This business is not complicated. It's actually really simple. Think about when you went back and learned your ABCs. Like you just kind of learned a rhyme and you worked your way through it. Did you pay someone to do that? Did you give up when it got tough? No, you just got through it. You had the will, the conviction, the belief to master your ABCs, even though you might not even know it if you were a small kid, but it doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you wholesaling is the exact same way. So instead of learning your ABCs, I'm going to teach you your 1, 2, 3s, and this will catapult you to get started, to take action in real estate, and you'll understand what phase you're in, what step you're in, so you can get through the 3 phases so you can cash that check and get on to getting your freedom back from your time and financially. And I know everybody watching this, that's probably why you're watching the video. So let's get into it. So let's look at the first steps to getting your deals. So what are the 3 phases? So number 1 is simply the acquisition phase. Okay. Now, step 2 is going to be the marketing phase, and step 3 is going to be disposition. So you got all 3. So now we have to go through, and so you can navigate this process. And it's so important you don't go from step 1 to 3. You got to do step 2. And then once you finish step 2, you go to step 3. Guys, this is kind of like a book. You have to read the first chapter before you go to the next chapter. If you try to skim the notes and stuff like that, wholesaling, you'll complicate it, you'll be frustrated, and you'll be out faster than you started. So let's start with acquisitions. And acquisitions is just this fancy word for buying property. I don't even know how the word acquisitions, it's like a fancy Wall Street term, and it kind of drives me nuts. So, hey, I want to buy a piece of real estate. I want to buy it at a discount. How do I do that? The first thing you have to do is, if you're unorganized, you're just going to go out in a car or something. You're just going to start driving randomly and just look for a house to buy. Well, you and me both know that's not going to be an effective use of your time, and it's probably going to drive you nuts. So the easiest way to do is start with a list. Well, Rick, what are you talking about a list? We're going to get a list of prospects, okay? And these are people that should have some sort of indication that they might be motivated. And what do I mean by motivated? We're looking for motivated sellers. We're looking for people that need to sell their house, not want to sell their house. People that want to sell their house, list it with a realtor and go through that pomp and circumstance. You're looking for someone that says, listen, I just got to get rid of this house. It would be equivalent to like looking at a pawn shop if you dropped off a gold necklace and go, listen, I just need the cash today. That's the type of seller you're looking for. Yes, they do exist. I'm telling you, I've been doing this 20 years. They are everywhere. You just got to know where to look. So where do we look? Let's get a list, right? Let's organize a list. The best lists, like we like to do, are government lists. These are lists that at the county and city level of people that are behind on their mortgage payments, AKA foreclosures, probates, people that have passed away and they need to liquidate these properties, eviction lists, tax delinquency lists. You guys kind of get the picture. So once you get these lists, they could be thousands and thousands of people. Is once you narrow that list down and you have it, if you've never done it before, I can offer you a free trial service, listrei.com. It'll show you all the lists that you can get. Most of these lists, you don't even need a service. You can go down to your courthouse and get them for free. Okay? So don't let anybody trick you into saying, listen, you got to pay for this. All this stuff, if you want to spend the time and the energy, you can get it for free, or you can go over to listrei.com and get a 7-day free trial period. So we have our list. The next thing we have to do under acquisitions is find the channel to connect with these people on the list. And what I mean by channel, it's basically like a vehicle. Okay. So you have choices. You can go knock on their doors. You can mail them a letter. You can cold call them, pick up the phone and call them. Guys, it is endless in how you can do this strategy. You have to pick which one resonates with you. If you want to learn more information on how to do this, go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you about all the different channels that you can connect with your sellers on. Okay. So the acquisitions phase is basically when you're going to go out and meet with your sellers. And you're going to, sometimes you just meet them on the phone. Sometimes you meet them in person. And that works. So when we talk about the channels list, we're talking about the marketing phase. Okay. And so now you've picked your list, you've picked your channels. And so here's the favorite channel. If you've never done this before, I'm here to tell you right now, is driving for dollars is probably one of the easiest ways. So if you don't have a lot of money and like you're broke, you're going to have to put your hustle muscle to the test. So you're going to go out, you're going to find, you can use one of these lists and you can go knock on the doors, or you can collect the addresses, and you can go to truepeoplesearch.com, a free service, look up their phone numbers and just cold call them. What do I say when I call them? It's real simple. Are you the owner of the property? Do you have an interest in selling the property? Okay. So we use the marketing channel to find the list, pick the marketing channel, also what we call the medium. And then basically you got to take action, which brings you into the acquisitions phase. And acquisition is just the art of buying the house. That's when you meet with the seller. And remember, you have to qualify the seller. Okay. You're going to ask them basic questions. You want to learn more how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you all the 4 critical questions you have to ask. And once you have a motivated seller, it's basically you're going to build rapport with them. You're going to connect with them. Guys, the really cool thing about wholesaling, it doesn't require a lot of sales skills. It does require the ability to connect with people. And that's what acquisitions does for you. So once you do that and you know you got a deal, you just simply put it under contract. Okay. So you're locking up your deal. And so you've done the marketing phase, you've done the acquisitions. They kind of work hand in hand, but the marketing will get you to the acquisitions phase, but you have to prepare for it. By the way, we have all the contracts and everything you need at freewholesaling.com. So don't worry, I got you covered there. So we've marketed, we've done the acquisitions. The final part of what we do is called dispositions. And once again, it's a ridiculous word that comes up. It just means selling your property. And also the reality of it is you're selling your contract as a wholesaler. So you've put the property under contract. The distinguished thing you have to understand as a wholesaler is you are selling the contract. You are not selling the property because you don't own the property. Okay. So you're going to market your contract. Okay, Rick, how do I market the contract? It's real simple. You have to look for cash buyers. Okay. So where do I go to find cash buyers? Well, there's several places you go. One of the easiest way is go look for Facebook groups, investor groups in the area where you have your property under contract. And that's where I would start. Anything on social media where you can find a cash buyer to buy your contract. It's important you do not put your property out on the internet. Remember, you're not selling the picture of the house. You're selling the contract. Let them do their due diligence and they're going to make a decision. Typically, you're selling to other investors so you can move it fast. You have to leave a slight discount on them. Guys, this works really, really well. Another great place to find cash buyers is real estate agents. Real estate agents, you could research which real estate agents are selling properties to cash buyers in the area where you have your property under contract. And why I like to use realtors is they typically pay you more. So people always worried about the 3 or 6% they're going to pay a realtor. A lot of time that expense is built into their fee. So you're getting 3 to 6% more for your property. So don't worry about paying your realtors. It's an easy way to pay them for because the end buyer is going to wind up paying for them. So once you have that and you out and search for your cash buyer, is you have someone who's interested in the property, they like the price, they like the area, it's a perfect fit for them. You're simply going to do what they call an assignment of contract. Remember, this is under the disposition section, which is the final part of wholesaling. And as long as your contract says it is assignable or you have the right to assign it, which our contracts at freewholesaling.com provide you that right, you have the ability to enter in what they call an assignment contract. And here's the really cool part. An assignment contract is just an additional contract that you agree with the new cash buyer to assign all your rights, privileges, and obligations of the contract over to the new buyer for a fee. And that's the beauty of it. So a lot of these deals are anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000. So a lot of people like to do 10 grand or more, but there is no limit in what you can make. And here's the really cool part. When you do the assignment of agreement, the assignment of contract is you don't have to close on the property. You never take title of the property. And honestly, other than a small deposit, you have laid no money out of your pocket. Your risk is minimal, but you do have to vet your cash buyers to find the right fit for them. So the key here is you have 3 phases. You're going to go from marketing to acquisitions to dispositions. And I prepared you for acquisitions first because I want you to understand the process of buying real estate. It is kind of the, it's kind of like the peanut butter and jelly between the bread here. Okay. So I start off with acquisitions. I want you to get a firm understanding on it. But in order to get to those contracts, we're going to start with marketing. Once we got marketing down, we're calling sellers. We set an appointment. Then we have to go meet with sellers. Once we meet with the sellers, we're going to qualify and make sure they're motivated. And once we do that, we enter into a contract and lock up the deal. Then we move to the final phase, which is phase 3, which we're going to market our contracts on social media, Facebook, without sharing the address. We're going to use realtors, Craigslist, anything to find a highly qualified cash buyer. And once we find a rich landlord to buy the property, AKA a cash buyer, is basically we're going to enter into an assignment of contract. And guys, if you're uncomfortable with the assignment of contract, we provide it here for free at freewholesaling.com. Is you can use your title company to help your new cash buyer walk through it. That's what I did when I first started doing it because I didn't even really understand it. So use your escrow agent at your title company to help explain the assignment of contract if you're not quite comfortable with it. And once you do that, then it goes to closing. They leave a non-refundable deposit to make sure they show up to the closing. And then at the end, so if you put it under contract for $100,000, you're selling it for $120,000. Here's the really cool part, because you don't pay any of the closing costs, you pocket 20 grand. Guys, take it to the bank. Understanding the 3 phases of wholesaling will make you a ton of money. This is Rick. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.